Hey everyone, today is Wellness Wednesday, and the topic is for this week. We are staying on winter wellness when it comes to winter blues. And this is really mood issues that come up when the seasons start to change, when the days get shorter, the nights get longer, the circadian rhythms start changing a little bit. So we just want to take a look at winter blues versus seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And anyone can be afflicted with it. Anyone can feel it a little bit. So we want to go over some things that you can do. Number one, to recognize it, and then also some things that you can start incorporating this season. In about a week or two, we're going to be falling back. It's going to be getting darker much sooner. So let's make sure that we have all the tools available to us, right? And we'll keep adding on to it. So you don't have to be perfect, but let's look at what we can do today. So the winter blues. The blues, they really can come up during the winter months for a lot of different reasons. Like I said, significant reductions in daylight. Sometimes work schedules end up changing. Sometimes you get to work, it's dark. You get back from work, it's still dark. I just noticed this morning when I took girls to the metro, I was like, it seems way darker than it was even yesterday. And this only like a 2, 3 minute change, but it makes a difference when you step out the house first thing in the morning and it's not light. So, be mindful of that. Give yourself some grace. Also, as we transition, it's hard sometimes. Sometimes it feels impossible. And then considering everything that's going on in the world today, sometimes it's really difficult to hear the news and all these different things that are going on, and then still have to grapple with this. And then, not to mention, your physiology and your biochemistry is literally being affected by not just events of the day, but literally the changes in the rhythms of the planet. So, we are members of the planet, and we really do work in tandem with the circadian rhythm. So the light dark cycles of the planet really affect our cellular biology, really affects our hormone levels, the whole nine. So keep that in mind. Give yourself grace. Sometimes people experience an even deeper issue than just kind of mood changes, blues. They experience things that we call seasonal affective disorder, or you may see it abbreviated as SAD. And about 5% of the US population experiences this for about 40% of the year. That's a lot of time to experience this. So we want to put some things on the table that you can start doing today to just help you feel a little bit better, or even just start thinking about it and starting to get a routine together. So, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is more than just winter blues. The symptoms can be really distressing, they can be very overwhelming, they can actually interfere with your daily function. And a lot of times it's linked to a lot of biochemical imbalances in the brain caused by these shorter daylight hours and less sunlight in the winter. So in addition to being in the midst of cold winter months, where, previously we were coping with COVID, we're still coping with COVID. People are still contracting it. So we want to just be mindful of that. The good thing is that we don't have to stay isolated anymore. But what we want to do is look at a different ways that we can really start supporting ourselves. So one of the best ways just to get started is getting light therapy. So getting light into your eyes, being able to get a light lamp and actually use it, a light therapy can really be supportive. But also antidepressants may be helpful during this period. There is no shame in that. Use it when you need it. Use it in tandem with herbs. You can do combinations. Sometimes they work better when it's done like that. You want to be very careful. Sometimes the herb that you choose to use could make the medication leave your body faster. So you don't want to just randomly start taking herbs and medication, but you want to be thinking about it. If it's something that you think can help you through, absolutely use it. But what I want us to also start looking at, what we're going to look at today, are some things that we can look at in terms of the precursors, or the things that help us basically get some of those neurotransmitters and things that help us to feel more joyful and feel with a better mood, happier, healthier. Some of those precursors, these are key nutrients, and also ways of getting inflammation down. Sometimes you could be getting all these nutrients in, but if there's massive amounts of inflammation in your body, that could be triggering some issues with your tissue taking in some of these nutrients and using them. That could be a problem. So let's look at that. But in general, one of the biggest things we want to start with is light therapy. And then talking with your doctor or healthcare practitioner about maybe getting an antidepressant or using combination therapy, hawk therapy, that whole nine. Let's keep going. Let's look at some of the common symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. So, the feeling of sadness or depressed mood, of course, it's marked by a loss of interest or pleasure in activities that you once enjoyed. Changes in appetite, this is huge. Usually eating more, craving carbohydrates, this is a big sign. Changes in sleep patterns, usually sleeping too much. Loss of energy or an increased fatigue despite increased sleeping hours. So you might be sleeping more, but you're not waking up feeling rested. You're waking up still dragging. Um, Also, an increase in restless activity such as hand wringing or pacing, or if you even notice slowed movements, slowed speech, different things like that. So just be mindful of it because there are things you can do to really support yourself in resolving it, improving it, and not having to suffer, especially considering people suffer with this 40% of the year. That's a lot of time. Also, feeling worthless or guilty. This is huge. Trouble concentrating or making decisions. If you've noticed this is happening a little more than usual, tap into it, see if there's some things you can do to start tweaking. Thoughts of death or suicide or attempts at suicide. We definitely want you to reach out to someone who can assist you in that area. If you are having those thoughts, you definitely do not want to keep that to yourself. So reach out. And what we want to do is look at a 3-tiered approach that we use. And it encourages, people to really use multiple things in a synergistic way. So you don't have to just use one item. You could use one item and it may really solve the problem. But sometimes the synergy of bringing everything together can be really helpful. So again, using supplements and herbs, some of the things that can be precursors to helping you make the neurotransmitters that help you to make joy or, serotonin, those things. Some of the precursors that help you to feel less anxiety and those types of feelings. Also, food and diet, again, getting inflammation down. For some people, massive amounts of inflammation can be early triggers. So sometimes just getting that down can be very, very supportive. And then lifestyle habits. So really doing things consecutively, doing things that actually help you cope, that help you relax, that help you bring your cortisol levels down so you can really kind of get into a stable, easygoing mood. And then we encourage you to consider using all of these things simultaneously and look at some of these different supplements and herbs that can be helpful. Of course, this is not a be all and end all list, but vitamin B6 could be super, super, super helpful getting started. B6 is one of the nutrients that's needed to convert the amino acid tryptophan into a couple of different things that help with depression. Number one, it helps convert it to SAMe, which is a natural antidepressant. It does a whole bunch of other stuff we'll go over, not today, another time. It also helps convert SAMe into serotonin so that you actually have more energy there. So that's a great place to start. You could even start with the full B complex or foods that are rich in B vitamins. Reach out to me if you want to know some more details around that. Also, just getting some tryptophan. You might be someone that just is not not getting enough protein, especially if you are vegan and maybe maybe there's a point where you need a small amount of some richer sources of protein. Or maybe you need some supplemental protein or amino acids. But essentially, the amino acid tryptophan is what gets converted into SAMe and serotonin. And then again, it gets converted into melatonin. So if you don't have a good supply to start with, you see where you could end up having some issues there. Also, mitochondrial supportive nutrients. So a full B complex is going to be really helpful. There's a lot of research showing that mitochondrial dysfunction can really play a part in mood disorders, but it also plays a big role in lots of different things that go on in the body, producing energy. Um, Also, whether or not you're managing blood sugars well. So mitochondria, we want those to be really healthy. But a B complex could be really supportive. Coenzyme Q10 is another mitochondrial supportive nutrient. Alpha lipoic acid, you'll see it written as ALA. Acetyl coenzyme A. And then also liquid minerals. This is really, really helpful. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting the body more alkaline, making sure that you have some of the trace minerals that we really need to function. Our body needs 90 essential minerals to really function well. And if those minerals are not in the soil, they're not going to be in the food that we eat. And if it's not in the food we eat, we're not getting them in. So little things like that. So I love the Energy Boost 70. That is a great one. It's a liquid trace mineral. You just can pop it in some water or a juice or a green drink, however you want to do it. But it's a great start. You can do it for 1 month to 3 months, see how you feel. And then, of course, a full spectrum multivitamin that has minerals is also something that could be really, really helpful. And the next thing that we want to look at is think about a sleep support cocktail. Now, this is where we're kind of hitting these neurotransmitters at different places. So some of the precursors, if starting with like the tryptophan and the B6, we're starting higher up and we're trying to get your body to make your own serotonin, your own melatonin, right? But you might be someone that, you know what, hey, while I'm starting to get the precursors and make it, I need to get some just to get started. So using a sleep cocktail that maybe has some melatonin in it, that maybe has some ashwagandha, which helps with the HPA or the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis with really getting that back under control. Some nutrients that can just help you relax and decompress at the end of the night so that you get restful sleep so that the next day you're feeling rested and you're much more able and willing to tackle the day. Another really huge one is vitamin D. There's tons of research and literature out there that depression really can be brought on by just having a deficiency of vitamin D. That's huge, especially considering that supplementing with a vitamin D3, really good quality, can be game changing. And you can quickly get your numbers up doing a very high dose for a short period of time and then lowering the dose, using it in small dosages to maintain. Or you can just go a little more strategic and do like a moderate dose every day. So, what you want to do is see where your levels are. Vitamin D has a big, wide reference range. Typically, 30 to 100 is where, if you go and get your labs checked, it'll say 30, you're good. No, 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 no. 30 is the bare minimum. We want between 60 and 80. This is where people start to really do well. And this is where not only do we help with depressive issues, but also with all-cause cancers, reducing those risks. So why not feed two birds with one stone with that vitamin D? All right, so that's another one. And then good old SAM E. This is actually a supplement that you can use. As I mentioned, vitamin B6 using tryptophan, these are the precursors, so you can make your own SAM E, and make your own serotonin. But really, if you're someone that, you realize, what, I need something now. And while you're making the precursor or getting the precursors to make your own, starting with a SAMe could be helpful for some people. Of course, you want to be careful with it. You want to get a therapeutic amount. So a therapeutic amount can range. There's quite a wide range from anywhere from 500 to 600 milligrams to like 2,400 milligrams. So it just depends. And this is why, if you take it and you're like, it didn't work for me, it could be that you didn't reach a therapeutic dose for your body, or there could be other things going on too. So just keep that in mind. But you also want to be careful if you have any family history or any history of bipolar, you may want to be careful with using SAMe to start with. But either way, work with your practitioner, your primary care physician, therapist, whoever you're working with, and just try some things out. It's trial and error. Get your lab work done, see where some of your levels are for vitamin D. You can get some functional lab tests done, see if what's going on with your gut, see what's going on with inflammation, see what's going on with nutrient deficiencies. So you can start there and really have a good idea of what you need to use to start feeling better faster. And then you can recheck after you've done it for a couple of months and then see where your levels are and see how you're feeling. So there's a lot that you really can do. So let's take a look at some foods and meal plans that you can use. So one of the biggest things is during the season is for mood support, for seasonal affective disorder. Aside from the light therapy that can be extremely helpful, just really being mindful of what you're eating. So a high fiber, low sugar, whole food, as clean as you can get it meal plan is really super helpful for getting inflammation down. And we know that inflammation going off the rails is one of the root causes for some people of having some of these mood issues, because it does affect how the mitochondria functions. It can affect how you're managing blood sugars. It can affect your neurological system. So we just want to look at all these pieces. But let's look at step by step. So avoiding coffee and alcohol, this could be huge for you. I know when we do our 30-day detoxes, when people cut out the alcohol, they have way less need for coffee. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So just letting you know. And then once you add the alcohol back in, then the cycle starts again. So sometimes coming off of one can help with the other. And if you're someone that's like, there's no way, I'm going into the winter season, and there's no way I'm coming off of coffee or alcohol, cut it in half. Doesn't have to be, coming off 100%, 50%, and see how your body does. Another great thing is using different versions. We have some really delicious herbal mocktails we use these herbal cordials that use minimal amounts of alcohol with different herbs. We have some that are completely mock, no alcohol at all. I have a couple of recipes. Maybe we'll do a day where we show you how to make those, and we'll put the recipes up for sure. But those are great because they really help with relaxation. So some of the biggest reasons why we use alcohol at the end of the day is to decompress. But what if you could decompress and still feel that wonderful, relaxed feeling without having to put the alcohol in? That at the end of the day could put you back on that kind of hamster wheel of having to use coffee in the morning and then get yourself up. So think about that. But at the same time, there's some people that do really well with a little bit of caffeine. It really helps to lift the mood. But start thinking about how much do you need? What I find is when you're drinking 16 to 24 ounces in a day, do you really need that? Let's think about using coffee as an herbal bitter, which it really is. Coffee is actually an herb, especially when it's consumed in a portion equivalent to having an herbal bitter. So if you think about like an espresso size amount of coffee, that could be great. You can look at starting with 1 to 2 ounces of coffee. That gives you the boost and the lift and the mental focus, but without all the jitters and the things that come with going way overboard with it, right? So keep that in mind. Another huge, huge, huge thing for mood support during this season is stabilizing blood sugars. If your blood sugars are all over the place, I'm talking like, you are going to have mood issues. We want blood sugars to go in super, super slow and boring. We want them, slow and steady. Blood sugar goes in beautifully slow, 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 slow. Time to eat again because we're starting to get a dip. Eat again, blood sugar. We want it beautifully slow and steady. We do not want blood sugar spiking way up here, then dropping. Okay, that's not what we want. So the more you can stabilize your blood sugars, the better. So, figuring out how to do that. This is the clue: high fiber, low sugar, whole food, clean. Okay. If you need help with that, reach out to me and I can give you some meal plans that totally get you right on track. From day one, tomorrow you could be balancing your blood sugars. The third thing is we want to remove inflammatory foods that are triggering. There are some people, and I've seen this happen a lot, they get triggered by gluten, dairy, sometimes the FODMAPs, the sugars in some of the really healthy foods that we eat. Some people are sensitive to them. If you know you're sensitive to dye, like different dyes in foods and different chemicals, then do a quick fast, do an elimination plan, and just see how you feel after that. That's a huge, huge way to do it. You add the food back in. As soon as you bring it back in, bam, you see it. I've worked with people where they were like, I don't want to do gluten free. I don't want to do dairy free. And I'm like, I just want you to do it for 7 days. 7 days. They do it. They feel great. And they're like, I can't wait to bring that gluten and that dairy back in. And they bring it back in. They're like, oh, I feel terrible. And they go, you know what? I didn't realize. I'm one of those people. I used to do a little bit of cream, dairy cream in my coffee. Low grade stomach ache that I didn't even pick up on until I totally removed it for a long time and then bought it back. Amazing. There's so many things your body just lets you get used to that it's like, oh my gosh, you don't need to be feeling that pain. So keep that in mind. Following a meal plan can be really, really helpful. So an anti-inflammatory meal plan can be helpful. A mitochondrial supportive meal plan can be helpful. An elimination meal plan, like I described, could be really super helpful for you. And then, of course, a detox or clean environmental meal plan can also be really helpful. But there's tons of ways you can eat and make this work. But all four of these types of meal plans can be really, really healing for people with mood issues. Also, eating a balanced, high fiber, low sugar, whole food meal plan that stabilizes blood sugars, gets rid of the spikes and the falls, like we said, so that we really stabilize moods. Our 7-day liver gallbladder detox, I will be doing that 7-day liver gallbladder detox somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we call it the Oreo detox because it is sandwiched between those two holidays. But it's great because now you can enjoy your holiday, you do the detox, get back on track, feel great, go in and enjoy the second half of your holiday. So look out for that. I'll make sure I post it for you, okay? And join in because people did it last year and it was really, really fun. It was really great. All right, so foods rich in magnesium can be really helpful. So one food that hits that bill really nicely is a 70% dark chocolate. There's tons of other ones, but that's the one I wanted to present because it's fun, and it's delicious and easy. Also, and you only need 1 ounce. It doesn't even need to be like a whole bunch. Of course, you can eat more if you like. Fresh squeezed lemon juice daily can be really helpful because it's going to help with detoxification pathways of the liver. It's going to help with lots of alkalinity for the body, lots of other little things. And then what I love is an uplifting herbal tea. We have lots of different herbal tea blends. I have a lot from a beautiful supplier out in Oregon. And reach out to me. There's some wonderful blends that we used during the pandemic when everyone was shut in and they were freaking out. Okay. And so we use tons of different blends, and people tried this blend and that blend and realized, oh my gosh, when I drink this, I am my old self again. I feel great. I don't feel, claustrophobic. I don't feel like I'm on the edge. So keep that in mind. Really healing herbal teas. The key to herbal teas is you need to get it in a therapeutic amount. So a therapeutic amount is typically going to be about a tablespoon or a teaspoon to a tablespoon, depending on the type that you have. If it's leaves, we want to steep them and infuse them. If they are barky and kind of more hardy sticks and things like that, we definitely want to boil them or decoct them. We want to boil them down for a period of time. But I can show you how to do all those pieces. We also want to therapeutically drink them 3 to 4 times a day. So it's not like a pill where you take it and it acts directly on one, component of the body or whatever. We really want to, you're taking it in and you're going to use it. It's going to work for a while and then it's going to fade. You're going to take the next batch. So we really want to be using it 3 to 4 times a day and getting a dosage. But at the end of the day, it is still trial and error. So you try and play around with dosages that work for your body. And the way you'll know that is you'll actually start feeling better. It's okay. So keep that in mind. And then another great one, this is my panacea drink, the Bare Nutrition and Herbs, the 6 spice tea that I make. I have a recipe. You can make it yourself, or you can order it from us. But the 6 spice tea saved my life. Oh my gosh. I saved my life. I mean, everything that I was dealing with for on so many levels, like I drank that tea every day for 3 years, and my whole body is totally different because of it. Everything. I mean, it got inflammation down. It got me out of a dream. It just did the job. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Make your own. Remember, use things in your kitchen. Let the herbs, the spices, the foods, let them call to you. This is how we really bring a lot of healing to us. We let those things be attracted to us and vice versa. So that's how I came up with the 6 spice tea. The herbs and spices, they were just calling to me in my cabinet. And we just kept playing around with them until I got the right mix. Bam. And now I feel great. All right. So try it out. It's great. Reach out to me if you have questions about it. Lifestyle, light socialization, self-care. 3 key components: light therapy, socialization, and self-care. These are the moments where turn that light on first thing in the morning, get that light in your eyes, lift it up, get it in your eyes. It really helps to boost the mood. Socialization, talk to somebody, talk to anybody. Even if you have to start with stuffed animal until you can get some therapy or get, you know, but don't suffer in silence. Don't be alone. Don't shut yourself in. Self-care. This is where you put those boundaries up. Not today. I'm not doing that. This is where I do this. This is where I do this. Compartmentalize. Take the moments for yourself. You deserve it. We were put on this planet to enjoy, to live in a way that feels great and comfortable. And we have to always keep drawing that energy to us so that at the end of the day, this is how we're living our lives in a way that feels great for us. So let's look at some of the things that we can do lifestyle-wise. Exercise is always great. Walking is one of the easiest things you can do. It's one of the biggest mood lifters you can do. Swimming indoors can be helpful. If you're sensitive to chlorine, be careful with that. Dancing is great. Put on some music. It's a great lymphatic cleanse. Jumping rope. Keep it really simple. Going to the playground and swinging, getting on some swings and just swinging. You don't have to go high, just swing. It is amazing how healing and just, this feels so great. All right. Singing. Join a choir. Singing, harmonizing, and being in, in unison, vocal unison with people. Very healing. Join a choir, join an online choir, join a local choir, join a live choir. Get your friends together and drink herbal cocktails and sing. Put on some music that you love and just sing. Light therapy, of course. When you can click on this link and it'll take you to some of the artificial lights that you can get. The more you can get natural light, the better. So that's great if you can sit in the window as soon as the light comes up in the morning and just have the sunlight kind of shining in your eyes for 15 to 20 minutes. That's great. Otherwise, using a light lamp would be great. Stimulate your senses with colors and smells and sensations and colorful decor, essential oils. Get a massage. This is your time to pamper yourself. And this is not like going above and beyond. These are your basics. It's like breathing. These are the things that you need right now. Okay. So these are basics. Give yourself a massage. It is amazing. Yes, it always feels better when someone else is giving you a massage, but giving your own self a massage and just being so loving to your own self can be game changing too. So do that. Nurture your spirit. So curl up with a great book that you like, meditate, relaxing activities, socializing. You may not want to go out. You may be someone that's like me, that's like, I enjoy being alone all the time. But, you push yourself to socialize and go out and do stuff. So do it. Just go out and do it. Head to a sunnier climate if you are lucky enough to do that and you have the resources. Go somewhere. Go somewhere that's sunny. See a therapist. Definitely see a therapist. Get support. Talk therapy is great. Cognitive behavioral therapy is great. Emotional freedom technique is one of those cognitive behavioral therapy techniques where you do the tapping, it's the acupressure points. Reach out to me. We have lots of resources around that and that you can look at to get started. But definitely seek out a therapist who may do that and really walk you through some beautiful support systems there. All right. So from there, if you want additional support or need anything, reach out to me. You can book a session and get a full comprehensive assessment done. We do an optimal lab review. We can see where you are in the spectrum. We can see, well, what's going on. Are there deficiencies that are driving your mood issues right now? Is there inflammation that's driving it? Or we can just do a full overhaul. So take this time and just really care for yourself. And I thank you so much. I really enjoyed hanging out with you during this video. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.